Good evening. I'm Christine Johnson. Talks are underway in Egypt to release the Israeli hostages and end the war in Gaza. And in the backdrop of these negotiations is a somber milestone. Tomorrow marks 2 years since the October 7th terror attacks. Discussions are gaining momentum after Hamas agreed to parts of President Trump's peace plan. And as Dick Brennan reports, the president is staying optimistic.
We have just about every nation working on this deal and trying to get it done.
President Trump says he's encouraged by peace talks between Israel and Hamas.
I think we're doing very well, and I think Hamas has been agreeing to things that are very important.
The negotiations over Trump's plan began in Egypt. Tomorrow will mark 2 years since Hamas attacked a music festival in Israel. Among those captured and killed, 23-year-old Israeli-American Hersh Goldberg Poland.
I think when it's a child, it's a unique brand of torment. You don't get better because when you're broken in a certain way, you just have to learn how to live within that brokenness.
Hersh's mother, Rachel, says she still has conversations with him.
And now I say, good morning, my sweet boy. Let me feel your love and your light today. No more pain, just love and strength.
Trump's 20-point plan includes a release by Hamas of Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinians imprisoned by Israel and an Israeli withdrawal from parts of Gaza.
First of all, what is the key here to get a satisfactory deal for both sides?
This is probably the most challenging negotiation that this president has been involved with.
Retired U.S. Major Mike Lyons says cutting a deal will be tough.
It's going to be very difficult to see in the future where Hamas decides to lay its weapons down and become part of a future political process within the Palestinian state.
For her part, Rachel Goldberg Poland believes a deal to release the hostages is closer than ever, but she also remembers the suffering in Gaza.
If you only cry when one side's babies die, it means your moral compass is broken, and therefore your humanity is broken. I will limp for the rest of my life, but I can limp toward the light.
Now, Rachel Goldberg Poland says there's too much suffering in that part of the world. She says families are desperate for decision makers to stop it from happening. Christine, the talks go on.
Yes, they do, Dick. Thank you. And at Columbia University today, there was an emotional tribute. 1,205 empty chairs were set up on Butler Lawn to represent those killed on October 7th. Excuse me, with a picture along with the right rose and a candle, just part of the commemoration organized by the nonprofit group Let's Do Something. And calls for the end of the war from activists detained while attempting to bring aid to Gaza, some of them from our area. Andrew Ramos spoke with their family members, waiting for answers.
Swedish activist Greta Thunberg among the more than 170 activists now free, landing in Greece on Monday after several days of sitting in an Israeli prison. The group, part of the international delegation known as the Global Samud Flotilla, aimed to bring life-saving aid to war-torn Gaza, but their mission cut short after they were intercepted by Israeli forces late last week. Roughly 130 activists remain in detention in Israel. Michael Fix of Eastchester, New York, is one of them.
If you're watching this video, then I've been kidnapped by the IOF.
His family left in limbo as they try to get answers from the U.S. Embassy in Israel, where resources were limited due to the recent Jewish holiday.
My feeling was the Israeli military had no issues intercepting them on a holiday. Life goes on even when there's a holiday.
At last check, John Fix was told his brother received medical care, but was still sitting in detention with no timeline of when he'll be back home.
They're stepping up because nobody else is, to bring attention to the fact that people are dying in Gaza.
Laura Colston is in the same boat. Her son Alex Colston is an American journalist who lives in Brooklyn and was on board the flotilla, is still detained in Israel with no clear deportation date.
The only way to describe it is that I am proudly terrified.
What drove him to really be part of this?
Definitely the genocide in Gaza and the pictures and the videos that are just horrific.
A sentiment shared by Layla Hegazi from Staten Island, an activist who also remains detained. Her mother hopeful for her safe return.
Government Governments are not doing anything, so citizens are trying. But as far as, like you say, how I'm feeling very frustrated with my own government right now.
Israeli authorities have denied claims that its offensive in Gaza amounts to genocide and says the rights of the flotilla activists had been respected throughout their detention. I'm Andrew Ramos, CBS News, New York.
And stay with CBS News New York for the latest on the Israel-Hamas negotiations. We'll also bring you coverage tomorrow of the events marking 2 years since the war.